Jekyll and Hyde has struck again. Tottenham won, Fulham won. Tottenham just don't seem to be able to put in a performance when we assume that we should beat these certain teams, these so-called lower teams in the league. We can put in a fantastic performance when we're playing against Manchester City, when we're playing against Villa, when we're playing at Old Trafford, we seem to be up for it. It just seems like a little bit like we're not up for these games. And that's something Ange Postecoglou has to work out. Now, I'm not going to overreact about this game. We got a point. We drew. We didn't lose. We haven't lost in the last 3 games now. The performances really need to improve when we're playing games in which, we need to be hyped up for every game. And at the moment, that's not happening. This can be fixed. I think it's easier to fix this problem than it would be to fix the problem of not being able to beat bigger sides. So, for example, last season, we couldn't beat any of the top sides. But we've fixed that issue. Now it's reversed completely, done a 180. And now we're struggling against, let's say, low block sides or, teams that are not going to be open as, like, let's say, a Man City, for example. So the consistency can come and it will come. There's definitely 4 things I want to talk about today. There's 4 talking points that we need to talk about. And then we can just, look, we haven't got time to feel sorry for ourselves. And that's it, because we've got Bournemouth coming up on Thursday. We need to just get our heads down and we really need to put in a performance in that game. Otherwise, if we play like we did today, we will get beat there. They have already beaten Arsenal and they've already beaten Manchester City. So the first thing I want to talk about is Pedro Porro and Jed Spence. Pedro Porro has not set the world alight this season. He's not been the greatest right back. He's had some good games, but he's had some very poor games. He was very poor today and he was struggling defensively. So my question is, what does Jed Spence have to do to get in this side? What does he have to do? Every time I've seen him play, he's put in a very good performance and they've played him out of position. Why don't you try and play Spence in a right back position, see what he can do? Porro played 3 days ago. So why can't you play Spence? I'm really hoping now that Spence plays on Thursday, because if he doesn't play Thursday, then when is he ever going to play? What, next week against Chelsea? I doubt it, because Postecoglou would choose Porro again. So, even Gray's getting games at right back. I know that Spence is not eligible for the Europa League, but that's another daft decision, in my opinion. Should have put Spence in the Europa League squad to get him more game time. If he comes in now, he's not going to be that much fit, to be honest. So next thing I want to talk about is our depleted squad. And the reason why I'm not going to overreact about this draw today is because, I'm going to get, everyone's going to say you're making up excuses. You're just a happy clapper, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. That's all I want to say about that. Our squad is depleted. There's no getting around it. We haven't got Vicario, Van de Ven, Romero, Bentancur, Solanke. Kulu was on the bench because he needs a rest. He's been playing every single game. He's been playing 3 games a week. He needed a rest as well. Yeah. So if another team had 6 of their best players not playing in this game, they would have struggled as well. If the Gunners, for example, didn't have Raya, Gabriel, Saliba, Rice, Saka, Odegaard, they would have struggled. Yeah. Because they're struggling if they just don't have Odegaard. So it is a reason why this inconsistency happens, because you can't get a fluent 11 going. Well, I don't even remember a time when we've had the same 11 players for 3 or 4 games, apart from, I think, the beginning of last season, and we won nearly every game. As soon as that got taken apart, that was it, So this depleted squad is, Richarlison. I haven't even mentioned the other players. Richarlison never fit. Odegaard hasn't even had a chance to see what he can do yet, and he's one of our summer signings. There's just Mikey Moore virus. I've never known a virus to go on for like a month or 2. Is crazy, but it must be gutting for him as well, because he could have took his chance and got in the team somehow. Third thing I want to talk about is Jekyll and Hyde. We seem to just win when we're not expected to win and lose when we're expecting to win. It's just Tottenham are the most unpredictable team in the Premier League. They could be outstanding one week and very poor the next. And that goes on with all the other things that I've been talking about today about, depleted squad, playing 3 times a week. I also want to mention as well, actually, that we've got one of the smallest squads in the league as well. I think we've only got 24-man squad. I think Chelsea have a 42-man squad. So, and Postecoglou was talking in a press conference as well that we need to increase the size of it. I really do, because the amount of games we play now, including the international break, we can't. If and we need to like rotate quality in too. So what I mean by that is the next time we have a transfer window, we need to make sure that if we brought in 3 players, these 3 players need to be first team quality players. No more 18-year-olds coming in. No more, up and coming talents, wonder kids, all that. We've got enough of them. We've got about 600 of them. We've got more kids in our academy than, Toys R Us. We need to get these experienced players in now, fill some important positions like left back cover for Udogie, left centre back cover for Van der Ven. Davis is doing a very, very good job. Yeah, I'm not saying he isn't, but just 4 centre backs is not enough for the amount of games we play now. It's not like it was 10 years ago. It's very, very hard to play this system as well. Relentless pressing for 90 minutes and play that 3 times a week. It's not going to be sustainable unless we get a bigger squad and get a bit more luck with injuries, to be honest. One last thing I want to talk about is Brennan Johnson, because I keep getting in my comments how much everyone don't rate him, and just give the guy a break. He's Tottenham's top goal scorer, and I'm not having this. He's a tapping merchant. I'm not having that. If you're in the right place at the right time and you finish it, then you're a good striker. That's what strikers do. There's been many a years where Kane's been playing games, Harry Kane, where he's been anonymous through the game and then he ends up scoring a goal. Johnson is a massive asset. If he can keep getting on the end of crosses or keep getting on the end of the ball, that's how Ange ball works, by the way. You go down the wing, you cross it in, and he's always there at the right place, right time. Tell me another Tottenham player that's doing that right now, because Johnson has scored 10 goals this season. Yeah, 10. He only scored 5 in the whole of last season. There's been massive improvements on his output. I understand the argument where he goes missing. He doesn't do a lot in the games. He doesn't take on his man. His crossing is not that great, and he wasn't helping Porro out much today, but he still came up with a goal. It's a big asset to have. He needs to get off his back. He's 23 years old. He's got a lot of time to improve and get better. He will. But he's a goal machine at the moment. Sometimes you just can't keep him out of the team because he's always got that goal in him. He's always in the right place at the right time, and we just need to lay off him a little bit. I can't believe that he's still getting slagged off and scoring 10 goals in the season so far. He scored 6 Premier League goals now. He's scored five Premier League goals last season, 5 in total. He's already beat that, 10 in total goals now, and he's got an assist, 11 goal contributions this season. So I just want to get that off my chest that, just because he taps him in doesn't mean he didn't do the work to get there in the first place. It's a skill to get to in the right position, to avoid offside and not to balloon the ball over the bloody bar or hit it wide. He always hits the target. He's a brilliant finisher. He may even be somebody that we might think about putting in the middle as a number 9. Because, like I said, winging as a winger is probably not suiting him. But if he was up front and he was hardly touching the ball but just kept scoring, nobody would care then. I think it's because he's a winger, there's more pressure on him to do more. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about today. These 4 things I really needed to talk about. Let me know what you thought of the game. Are you panicking? I don't want to hear no Ange outs. If you're going to say Ange out, then I probably won't reply to you because it's ridiculous. Since the international break, we've got 4 points from a possible 6. There's no need for a meltdown right now. We've got a big game against Bournemouth. If we get a win there, we're very likely to go and beat Chelsea now. That's what kind of season we're having. We can go and batter Chelsea at home and everybody will be happy again. So let me know what you think of the game in the comments, and come on, you Spurs.